A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising turn of events on Thursday, federal prosecutors faced yet another setback as a grand jury in Virginia declined to re-indict New York Attorney General Letitia James on criminal charges. This marks the second time in just over a week that the Department of Justice has been unable to secure an indictment against one of President Donald Trump's prominent political adversaries. The grand jury's decision comes after the original indictment, which accused James of bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution regarding a mortgage, was dismissed by a federal judge in the Eastern District of Virginia. The judge ruled that the prosecutor who brought the case, Lindsay Halligan, was unlawfully appointed. James has consistently denied any wrongdoing and has described the allegations as politically motivated. The unusual refusal of a grand jury to issue an indictment after a prosecutor's request raises eyebrows, especially considering the political stakes involved. James' defense attorney, Abbe Lowell, characterized the grand jury's rejection as a clear indication that the case should never have been initiated. He stated, "For the second time in 7 days, the Department of Justice has failed in its clear attempt to fulfill President Trump's political vendetta against Attorney General James." Lowell further emphasized that the repeated failures to indict reflect poorly on the integrity of the Department of Justice. The backdrop to this legal saga involves President Trump, who has called for the prosecution of both James and former FBI Director James Comey. Both figures have been critical of Trump, and their legal troubles seem intertwined with the political landscape. Halligan, who was appointed at Trump's urging, quickly moved to bring charges against James and Comey after taking office. However, her appointment was deemed invalid, leading to the dismissal of the charges. The DOJ has maintained that Halligan was properly appointed, but the legal community remains skeptical. The grand jury's decision not to indict James for a second time raises questions about the evidence presented and the motivations behind the charges. According to sources, an experienced fraud prosecutor presented the case against James during the latest grand jury proceedings, suggesting that the complexity of mortgage fraud cases may have influenced the juror's decision. The DOJ manual states that once a grand jury declines to return an indictment, the same matter should not be presented to another grand jury without prior approval from the responsible U.S. attorney. This adds another layer of complexity to the ongoing legal battles surrounding James and the broader implications for the Department of Justice. As this story develops, it continues to highlight the intersection of law and politics in a highly charged environment. Legal experts are closely monitoring the situation, as any further attempts to revive the discredited charges could be seen as a mockery of the justice system. This case has already cast a shadow over the reputation of the Department of Justice, raising serious questions about its integrity and the motivations behind the charges against James. The political ramifications of this case are significant, especially as it unfolds against the backdrop of the upcoming 2024 elections. With tensions running high and both sides preparing for what could be a contentious political battle, the implications of this legal saga are far-reaching. As we await further developments, one thing is clear: the intersection of law and politics will continue to dominate headlines in the coming weeks and months. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.